I didn't call my gran. I called her mum, because that's what my mum called her. So I just called her mum. But yeah, mum came to live with us when I was 14, I think. Just because she was getting a bit old or lonely as well. And my mum thought she just needs to be with people so that if anything happened, we could look after her. Because she fell and broke her wrist, and it was after that my mum was like, I think it's a good idea. And then I don't know how long after that she moved in that she developed dementia. It was the slow one, so it took a while to notice. It was just little things like forgetting she lived with us and saying she wanted me to call her a taxi to take her home, or leaving the iron on. So I had to hide the iron, or my mum would say it had just all been done. Would just like change things to keep things safe and to keep her happy. Sorry. I think now, looking back, that was the whole aim, to keep her happy. Which sounds obvious, but I think we actually kind of achieved it as well. But we were lucky because we had a lot of support from social services and the district nurses and stuff. It's because of living outside of London or a big city. I think healthcare seems to be better out here. Me and my mum kind of tag teamed it. Like, she'd go on in and set the ball rolling, and then as soon as it just got a bit much, like if there was a bit too much arguing or if she got a bit mean, this is mum, not my mum. If mum got a bit mean or lashed out, not physically, that I remember, just like said mean things, my mum would kind of tap out, and then I would go in, and because of the dementia, she wouldn't remember really. If you go in and go, oh, hello mum, she'd go, oh, hello. And you go, oh, you've got some food there, shall we eat? And she'd go, okay. And she'd just eat. So it was sort of a game in a lot of ways. And it's not really deceitful because you're keeping a person alive. You're giving them a good quality of life. And it's just, you have to adapt to what their brain is doing. So if they're in a really fucking terrible mood and they're going to argue with you a lot, you just tap out. And if you're in the lucky position that we were in, that I could come in and cover, or I'd tap out and then mum would cover, we were really lucky because we had each other to rely on. I know a lot of people don't. I know a lot of people are on their own doing this, and that is fucking hard. But I was one of the lucky ones where my support system was that I didn't actually notice that I needed one. I was just trying to help my mum out, really take some of that stress off. Yeah. I think you do have a different sense of humour when you care. If you've been a carer, take pleasure out of the smallest things or the weirdest things that you can't share with other people because they'll think it's weird. Like, mum once was holding my hand and then took my finger and bit it pretty hard. And I was like, forget that. And she was like, well, I'm hungry. And she just kind of forgotten that she wasn't meant to eat fingers, that she was meant to eat food. But for me, that was really hilarious. The fact that she would insert random words into the Lord's Prayer, because she was quite religious. So some days it would be, for thine is the, what is it? For thine is the, perfect. Our Father, who art in heaven. And then it would go, cabbages and pears, let's have some soup. Amen. And then she'd look over at me and go, was that it? And I'd go, yeah, that was it. Or close enough. And if I was to tell that to someone, sort of, I don't know, family friend who had no idea about caring, they'd be like, oh, it's such a shame. She's really losing it, isn't she? And I'd be like, nah, she's not. She's having a great time. She's doing whatever she wants, and we are just going along with it. So, yeah. It's the judgment on the person that you're looking after, which is difficult. You've just got to change how you think normal life should be. Because their brain is suddenly going, I want to do this, and I'm now this age, and I now don't remember how to eat. I don't remember how to swallow. And you're like, okay, interesting. How do I teach a 98-year-old woman to swallow her food again? No, that was tough. That was one of the hard bits, especially towards the end. You really, with dementia, you really forget the basics. You forget how to talk, you forget how to eat, you forget how to drink, you forget that you're hungry, you forget that you need the loo. All of it. And it kind of just sometimes hurtles at you as the person who's looking after them. It was just trying to sort of playing the game of dementia in a way. You just have to sort of not take it personally, which is really hard to do, but it's just reminding yourself to not take it personally, because this isn't the real person that this isn't them. This is the disease and what it's doing to them. And it's just meant that you really had to repeat and be like, no, Mum, you've got some food in your mouth. Have you swallowed it? And she'd nod. And you'd be like, okay, open your mouth. And she'd open her mouth and the food's still there. And you'd go, okay, well, you've just had some food. Was it nice? And she'd nod. And you go, well, do you want to swallow it? And she'd nod. Still be staring at you. And you go like, a big old exaggerated miming swallowing food, which like is normal at that moment in time, because you're sat there with this however old-year-old woman going And then I realised that a way to do it was just get another spoonful of the stuff and just hold it up and go, oh, you seem to really like it. Do you want some more? And she'd swallow what's in her mouth because she did want some more. Like these just became everyday, normal things to do. But looking back and talking it out now, it's just odd. But like, I never thought what I was doing was officially caring. It was just helping my mum out. Kind of being the outsider seemed to be helpful. Because actually I didn't have a hugely big relationship with mum before. Like, I definitely did, but I definitely had one when I was looking after her. Because like, you get to know someone so well. You're doing really intimate stuff with them, like cleaning and dressing and intimate stuff like that. And we sort of developed a whole new relationship. Like, she was my grandmother, so there was a respect, but she was also like a 9-year-old sometimes. And we could be super cheeky together and have lots of fun. It was a really interesting, weird, new kind of relationship. that we discovered. I mean, family dynamics in my family are bizarre anyway. But I think it was an experience that I know not a lot of people have had, and I'm very glad that I did have. And I feel bad for people who don't have it, or who don't get to know their grandparents, because she had so much to offer. Her advice was amazing. She made me carry on going to university when I nearly dropped out after the first year. She had a very strong opinion about why I wasn't married at age 21. I was shocked to hear that I didn't even have a boyfriend at that age, let alone was not married with kids. She always told me to brush my hair. I don't think I ever owned a brush. I don't think I do. She was a strong character that I would have missed out on if I hadn't been a part of her life that I was able to be.